So welcome everyone. My name is Kate Mueller. I'm the Chief Product Owl and Resident Cheesemonger here at KnowledgeOwl. And today I'm going to do a very quick walkthrough on one of our latest features, which is a new subcategory display option called icon panels. And I have been totally loving this feature because I feel like it's letting me give our knowledge base a facelift with very little effort on my end, which is always delightful. So you all should be able to see my screen right now. So let me kind of give you a preview of what icon panels allows you to do. So this is one of our existing categories that is not using the icon panels layout. It is using a title and description layout. So we kind of have these little sections for each subcategory in this category. And here is the category that used to have that layout that I switched to the icon panels layout. And you'll see that it adds a great deal of visual interest. You have a lot of control over, you get to pick the icons, you get to pick the color, you get to pick how many subcategory panels appear in a row. If you've got oodles and oodles of subcategories, you can also limit the number of subcategories that display here. So it's a really fast and very, I don't want to say easy. I hate when people doing walkthroughs say something is easy, but that doesn't require a lot of effort. It's a very fast set of changes to make. So what I'm actually going to do is update this user management category live in real time so y'all can see how this works and maybe offer some suggestions on what icons you think might be good ideas for these. So the way I do this is, and there's no right order to this, but there's basically two things that need to happen here. One is that we are going to change this user management category so that it uses the icon panels layout. Two is that we're going to update each of the subcategories so that they have an icon to display. You can do this in either order. We actually programmed in 4 sort of default icons. So if you toggle the main category first and you haven't added subcategory icons here, there will be icons to display. But since I like having a lot of control over my documentation, I like to add the icons first and then toggle the main category so that when it goes live, it's like done, basically. So I'm going to start with that, which means I need to start within each of my subcategories here, come in and edit them. And we're going to work with this category icon field. In this case, I'm going to use Font Awesome icons. You can use, if you have designer resources at your disposal and they have created custom icons for you, you can upload those to your library and use those icons. Most of us, well, a lot of us don't have that or don't like bothering the designers that we have for icons, in which case using a Font Awesome icon can be a great way to do that. So once I select that option, it's going to pop up this little choose a Font Awesome icon window where I can search for icons, I can set the color, and I can define the variant that gets used. These are described out here in way more detail to kind of run through what the various variants look like. We default to this duotone, which just uses like a 2-color tone thing, but you can use any of the other ones. And I've given you screenshots of like what the difference between those different variants looks like on the same icon. I like the duotone, so I'm kind of sticking with that as the default. Let's see. So I'm in users at this point. So I'm just going to do a search for user and see what kind of icons might come up for that. And I see I've got all kinds of options here. Give me 1 second to grab the hex color that I want to use here because I had one in mind and then I forgot to copy it. But while I'm doing that, do we think I should use a single user or multiple users here in the land of icons? Don't everybody jump at once.
Multiple.
Multiple. All right. Love it. Love it. So maybe we use this one just as a base user. And I am in, where am I? I am in security and permissions, which means I am using our sort of funky, dark, blue-gray color. Okay.
I'm pretty excited about the user visor one. I'm pretty sure they have like a little Star Trek pin on them down there. Okay.
There's some amazing. Also, so we just give you the first like 20 things returned. You can click this link to go view the full font awesome icon. I'm going to do this right now for y'all because if you search user out here, there are oodles of user icon options. You can get a user that has a mullet. You can get a user that's a doctor. You can get Shakespeare. Like there are all kinds of options. Robots, cowboys, like people with crowns, astronauts, aliens, all kinds. So like if you want to go down the rabbit hole of amazing icons, there are some amazing icons out there to grab. You can have as much fun with these as you want. Okay, I think this is my special hex color. Now that I've appropriately stalled for that, let's see how this actually looks. I don't know. Does that seem too light? Are people going to be able to see that? Mary Beth, what do you think? You voted on my pink the last time.
I'm good with it for now. We can always make it
All right.
darker.
We can try it. All right. So I've selected my icon. I've given it a color. I've stuck with that duotone variant. All I'm going to do here is save this and go back. We're going to repeat this process, except it will be a lot faster since I actually have the hex color that I need at this point. Come in here and do user teams. Now, I'll start off with my color this time. I'm going to specifically do users here because I think I'm going to want a group of users. Is there anything here that just screams teams to people?
I like viewfinder.
Viewfinder. This one in a little box. I like it. We've defined a team. We're going to put everybody in a box. We could also do the between the lines, but I kind of like the viewfinder as well. Let's try that. And then our last one, user roles and custom roles. Tricky.
It could be a cowboy or an alien. It's custom. It could be anything you want.
For Shakespeare, we could make it Shakespeare. Maybe slightly less fun things I thought about were like the user's gear. There's also like a little shield, which I thought might be fun. There's also, I mean, since we're talking about people who are creating content, there's a little pen.
I sort of like the shield because custom roles are oftentimes like a security thing. So like that might make sense.
I'm here for it.
All right.
It was on my short list, so I'm okay with that. All right. I've got all of my icons added. Now I get to come into my main category and say, forget about that title and description. We want to use icon panels. And at this point, you'll see we get a couple extra controls here. One of which is we can limit the maximum number of categories to show. I don't need to do anything with this. I've only got 3 categories in here. I don't think that's going to be visually overwhelming. I can also decide how many categories per row to display. In this case, I'm going to try the 3 since I know I've only got 3 categories, and we'll see how it looks. And once I do that, I can come back out here, refresh my page. And here are my categories with the icons, which actually don't look bad. Maybe slightly darker. I don't know if the contrast is quite enough, but that's it. Like, voila. I now have totally given this little category a facelift. I've got relevant icons here. If I wanted to go back to the previous setting, I could switch back to title and description, and that would get rid of my beautiful little icons and take me back to what we had before, which is using a little bit of custom CSS because we force it to do this like 1 per row thing. Yours probably looks a little bit different, but I'm going to commit to the icon panels because I like the way they look. And there we have it. Thank you all for being part of us updating user management so that it uses subcategory icons. Let's see. Most of this should just work. Basically, we've added some default styles to get this treatment. But if you did want to style them a little bit differently, I am starting to add some content out here into category look and feel. And I added a little bit of, so I added the default CSS we use for those icon panels down here. So you can grab all of it and adjust certain things. The other thing I've added is a tweak that I myself made, which is that by default, the labels underneath here, which let's get back to what we were working on here, Kate. These labels come in as a bold. They inherit the default font weight for H3, so heading level 3s in your theme. And for our given font, that bold is super bold. Let me adjust it for a second so you can see what I'm talking about and thus why I decided that I wanted to make the change. So it comes in quite bold. And our designer actually does not like that level of bold. So what I have done is to add a little bit of custom CSS that takes it back to a normal font weight instead of that bolded font weight. And that CSS is this cat icons wrapper H3 font weight of 400. Should help guarantee that it only affects the H3s that are your cat in your category icon panels. So you're not going to get bleed through into other H3s around your knowledge base. And that's what I've done for customization so far. I'm still getting used to it and playing with it. So I'm sure there might be some other stuff I have, but this, the on hover treatment, the sort of alt text that gets displayed, all of that is built into the icon panels functionality. So you don't have to do anything special to get that. And on that note, I think I shall stop recording at this point and leave some time for questions.